Hello everyone and welcome back to Hell Yeah Gaming, where I continue on covering all news related to the Enchanted Portals indie game that has been in development, or at least announced, ever since around early October by Xixo Studios. As a reminder, it is a two-person studio, two people, based out of Spain. And as of today, the day that I am recording this video, they have officially launched their Kickstarter campaign, as you can see right along here. So there is a lot to talk about that has been announced with this Kickstarter, not just in terms of their goals and rewards, but also more information about the game itself. So let's go ahead and dive on in to everything that we have going on here. So of course we have the top heading here, Enchanted Portals, a magical co-op 2D platformer. In Enchanted Portals, it is up to you to navigate Bobby and Penny out of the interdimensional mess they have made for themselves. And of course, there is the trailer posted right up here, but we have already watched the trailer in my previous video, which I'll go ahead and link to in an iCard right up here. But if we go ahead and head on down, so they start by giving about the game, and what I particularly appreciate about their whole setup is that with every header is animated, which makes it just that extra little bit of oomph that really helps me to appreciate it. So of course we have about the game. We don't learn anything else right here that we don't already know, but as a refresher, this dimension and that one, they seem to flow into one another, parts of the whole that we call reality. Yet there is a way to get stuck between them, and Bobby and Penny have found it. A couple of rookie magicians, they have just unwittingly entered into the adventure of their lives, and there's no telling where it will take them. Now it is up to you to help guide them back to their own dimension, exploring a variety of wonderful worlds and fighting their way through an ensemble of wacky yet powerful bosses, while trying to get the magic book back in their hands. I like how magic book here is capitalized. Very interesting, since it looked like from the trailer that the book itself was alive. I think the capitals here is fairly appropriate. Featuring music sure to get stuck in your head, a charming old-timey art style, and comedy from beginning to end. Enchanted Portals is a co-op 2D platformer at its heart, but a platformer in which there is always something different and exciting waiting around the corner. Whether you are playing alone or with a friend, the magic is non-stop in this game, and the action is both fast-paced and whimsical. I really hope that they live up to the always something different and exciting around the corner, and that's not just a little nod to how the game is made up of several levels of different dimensions, different realities. I would actually really like to see things constantly changing and shifting. That would be fantastic. And of course, little gif of the opening in the trailer that we have here. Gameplay. I love Bobby and Penny looking so just into it and competitive one another as they play. Enchanted Portals is an intense, we'll see how intense it turns out to be. 2D platformer game with battles versus crazy bosses. Features include co-op and solo modes, collection of challenging platform stages set in a variety of worlds across dimensions, thrilling bosses, each featuring a colorful, unique setting and multiple different phases to go through, and powerful arsenal of spells and moves, fire, ice, wind, and arcane spells ready to use from the very beginning, with powerful super spells, which we can see right here, which I love this animation with so much of my heart. This is just the best right here. Bobby just shooting out a giant gloved fist to smack into the frog princess here. That's just amazing. A handy double jump for extra air control, a magic bubble that blocks any attack, and the ability to fly with your broom and swim underwater. Players can be affected by a variety of status effects: slow movement, jump restriction, inability to attack, all of which will pose an extra challenge and spice up the gameplay. And as we can see, what I pointed out in the trailer in my last video, Tombstone whacking Bobby with a mallet here, getting him stuck in his hat, definitely something that doesn't seem to do straight up damage, more of a status effect. He's just flattened and still moving around, but definitely not able to attack or anything. So that on its own is already a huge departure from its inspiration of Cuphead, and I would love to see a lot more of what's going on with this. Adaptive soundtrack that follows the player's actions. Hear the music seamlessly morph and adapt to whatever is happening on screen, and listen to the orchestra play some stylish chords every time you land a powerful hit. That is fantastic, and I would love to hear that in action. Obviously, I think we're still too early in the development cycle to have any example of that going on, but that is just one of the flares that I think makes any game so much better, is when the music reacts to not just scripted events, but what you're doing right now. And the absolute pinnacle, the best game that does this that I can think of from recently, is the Untitled Goose Game. That game does it perfectly. Now, if we look at this GIF that we have going on here, we can see, two types of elemental attacks going on, fire and ice by the looks of it, and it's maybe a little difficult to tell on the video playback here, but it definitely looks like, in addition to just, doing different kinds of damage, fire versus ice, the fire also moves a lot faster than the ice moves, so that's something to keep in mind, and shows that there's actual legitimate differences to the different types of attacks. And as we go back down here in the underwater stage, we can see them fighting the octopus, of course, ice from Bobby, and a spread shot from Penny up here. And right here, we can see the 3 platforms that they are developing for, which is Steam for PC, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4 is a more recent addition that they decided to add to their development cycle. So, rewards, what we need and what you get. Right now, we have come to you, Kickstarter, in order to raise funds that we need to complete development on Enchanted Portals. Now, this is, remember, the option that they decided to go with rather than accepting funding from a publisher that reached out to them. Their whole thing was creative control and wanting to make sure that they maintained that. We'll see how Kickstarter works out for them, because I do have some concerns based on their first day performance, but we'll cover that here at the end of the video. Our goal through the campaign is to raise at least 120,000 euros, and every euro helps. To show our appreciation for your support, we are offering some exciting rewards, including early access to Enchanted Portals and limited edition Enchanted Portals merchandise. And they do have a thing or two here that I think looks pretty neat, and that I wouldn't mind. Make a contribution now to guarantee you'll be able to play the game before any of your friends do. So here we have our tiers. At the lowest tier, 15 euros, and for all of these, I'll also on screen be throwing up the American dollar conversion, since I know most people who watch me are American. Wind Mage tier, 15 euro. The only thing that it gets you is a digital copy of the game. So, obviously the lowest tier, the lowest form of reward, and the reward is you get to play the game without purchasing it after the fact. Ice Mage at 25 euros, get the digital game, and then 3 more additions, the digital soundtrack, which I'm excited for, certainly. I love the Cuphead soundtrack. I listen to the Cuphead soundtrack quite often, actually. And if this winds up being anything like that, it will be phenomenal. And the little disco stinger with this alien cow that we had at the end of the last trailer was, I would absolutely listen to that. Wallpaper and your name in the credits. Those are all pretty standard Kickstarter rewards. Next tier, Fire Mage at 50 euros. So from here we just add on a t-shirt, which we can see right here. I don't know if that's going to be the final design of the t-shirt or if our lovely game makers are going to create a new design as they get further into the project. We'll see what ends up happening there. I will try to reach out, do another interview with them, and that's something that I'll ask about. At 75 euros, Arcane Mage level. Everything else, but you also get to be part of the closed beta, but only for PC users. That is pretty cool, I do have to say so. Being able to participate in helping work out any kinks, bugs, give feedback for them as they are developing, so they can make the game as best as they possibly can. And then at 100, double that at 150 euros, the Archmage level, we add plushie dolls, as we can see right here. And on Twitter, they did put a larger picture of the plushie dolls. So I will go ahead and flash that up right now for everyone to look at. And I think that they're pretty cute. I do think that they might be a little low quality just based on what we can see here, but if these are just the early prototype designs, then the final product could end up being much better quality. We'll see what happens. And then we get to the Grand Wizard, a limited selection tier for 200 euros. Everything from below, plus you get a custom caricature of yourself drawn in the cartoon style that they've gone with for their game. So we can see it right off the bat here. This, I believe, is Danielle, one of the two members of their game team, and the primary artist and music composer. So I think that's pretty cute. I don't know if all of this is worth 200 euros or whatever that winds up being in American, but I can definitely see where people would want to shell out for this, for sure. And we get to our final rank, the Portal Master, also limited, 500 euros. You get 2 of everything in the previous tiers, plus you get 2 caricatures listed in the in-game Hall of Fame. Now, there's not a whole lot of information on what that actually means, but I think that having yourself immortalized in the game is pretty darn cool. And for those who are willing to shell out 500 euros, I'm sure anyone who's willing to put it out would definitely find that worth it. Now, we go ahead and they did list out stretch goals. I love this animation of them reaching a flag at the top of a mountain. This is just really cute to me, probably one of my favorites. They don't have anything listed in stretch goals, and that is interesting. So, I don't know if they just don't have any stretch goals in mind yet, or if they didn't want to put anything down until they knew that they would actually be able to reach their main goal. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that we will find out in the near future. They go ahead and have a little section down here about asking everybody to spread the word through social media, saying, Xixo Games and Enchanted Portals can be helped by, sharing your support, Facebook, Twitter, any other social media platforms, and I 100% encourage everybody to spread it as far as you can, because I want to see this game go as far as it can go. I absolutely do. I think it looks adorable. I think that they are very much willing to listen to people and feedback and do what they need to do to make this great. And then, of course, they have the links to their various social media pages. I don't have or use Instagram at all myself, but I keep up with Facebook and Twitter. Then, of course, about us, we have Bobby and Penny definitely look like stand-ins for them, being here with Penny being the one who's clearly drawing, and Danielle is the member who does the art, and Bobby clearly tapping away at the keyboard, doing the coding, just like the male member of the team. I apologize. Oh, Daniel. I've been saying Danielle the whole time, like it was the female member of the team, and I am an idiot, and I am sorry. Gemma, right here. You know what? How about I just read it and stop making a fool of myself? Xixo Game Studio is the small indie studio of only 2 people, Daniel, game director and programmer, and Gemma, artist and composer. Enchanted Portals is our very first game. I would very much like them to be able to keep it going and make more. We are both avid Cuphead fans, and our idea was to make a game heavily inspired by it, not to attack it or compete with it, but to celebrate it, and because we'd love to see more Cuphead-like games out there. We've put all our love and care into this project, and it comes from a place of respect and admiration for the original. We hope to bring our own spin to the formula, making Enchanted Portals a unique and charming experience, one that people all over can appreciate. And they gave a nice little pie graph here showing how much of the funds go to what aspects of their development. These numbers look a little too clean to be exact, but I think it gives enough of an idea of where everything goes, and in my own limited experience, it looks about accurate. And the last thing that they have listed here is risks and challenges, bringing to the table all the skills that we need to make this happen, everything from graphic design to coding. We foresee no major risks to making this game, as we can easily adapt the size of the game to the funding we get. No, the issue that I do take with this statement is that, Kickstarter is an all-or-nothing crowd backing engine. If you don't meet the goal that you set out, you get nothing and nobody pays anything. So I'm not sure if they have a backup if this fails, or if they are talking about if they meet their goal but don't exceed it. If we do run into any major logistical challenges, we will be sure to keep all our contributors in the loop, remaining transparent throughout the development process. And excellent. I think that they've actually done a pretty good job of communication with people who've been interested up until this point. So I don't see any major issues regarding that. But what I do think we might have some issues with is right up here, with a goal of 120,000 euros, which translates to a little over 130,000 US dollars. They have on their first day 6,093 US dollars pledged, with 173 backers on their first day. Now, obviously, they have 29 days to go. There's still a whole month. There's a lot of time. But anybody knows that these kinds of crowdfunding campaigns, especially on Kickstarter, they have their biggest push in the first couple days and the last couple days. That's just the truth of the matter. And if they've only got 6,000 on the first day, not even 1/100th of what they're needing, then that's a problem. That is definitely a big problem. So, what I would love to see happen is for this number to go way up in the very near future. So I don't know if anyone out there who, if any of my lovely followers and subscribers, all my friends out there, I'm not sure if this is what you want, but I would love to see it happen. So, anyone who wants to back into it, absolutely do so. There is some pretty fun rewards going on here. I think the soundtrack is probably the one that'd be the most worth it. But, I have lots of t-shirts, and I can always have more t-shirts, and I think the plushies, as long as they come out to be reasonably good quality, would be pretty darn good. So, I do believe in this project, and I want to see it all the way through. If you all can contribute whatever you think it's worth, if you want to, then definitely do that. And hopefully we can see them meet their goal before the 29 days from this point goes up, or as this video goes up, it'll only be 28 days, but hopefully we can make it happen. So thank you all so much for watching. Again, I would just love to see Enchanted Portals go through. Go ahead and leave a comment below on how much you think it's worth it. Tell me how much you think backing Enchanted Portals would be worth, and also leave a comment on what kind of level or boss you would want to fight in this big, wacky multiverse of craziness. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and of course, let's all give this project a great big hell yeah!